ancient 15,000-year-old viruses found in melting Tibetan glaciers, the wait is nearly over. Ancient creatures emerging from the cold storage of melting permafrost, almost like something out of a horror movie, Tessa Kumundura Science Alert reports, from incredibly preserved extinct megafauna like the woolly rhino to a 40,000-year-old remains of a giant wolf and bacteria over 750,000 years old. Not all of these things are dead. Centuries-old moss was able to spring back to life in the warmth of the laboratory. So too, incredibly, were tiny 42,000-year-old roundworms. These fascinating glimpses of organisms from Earth's long-distant past are revealing the history of ancient ecosystems, including details of the environments in which they existed. But the melt has also created some concerns about ancient viruses coming back to life to haunt us. Melting will not only lead to the loss of those ancient archived microbes and viruses, but also release them to the environments in the future. This is what researchers explained in a study last year, led by first author microbiologist Xingping Zhang from Ohio State University. Thanks to metagenomics techniques and new methods for keeping their ice core samples sterilized, the researchers were able to get a better understanding of what exactly lies within that cold. In the study, the team was able to identify an archive of dozens of unique 15,000-year-old viruses from the GLACIER ice cap of the Tibetan plateau and gain insights into their functions. Zhang said these glaciers were formed gradually, and along with dust and gases, many viruses were also deposited in that ice. These microbes potentially represent those in the atmosphere at the time of their deposit, the team explained in their paper. Past studies have shown microbial communities correlate with changes in dust and ion concentrations in the atmosphere and can also indicate climate and environmental conditions at that time. With these frozen records of ancient times, 22,000 feet above sea level, in China, the researchers discovered that 28 of the 33 viruses they identified had never been seen before. These are viruses that would have thrived in extreme environments, said Ohio State University microbiologist Matthew Sullivan, with signatures of genes that help them infect cells in cold environments, just surreal genetic signatures for how a virus is able to survive in extreme conditions. Comparing their genetic sequences to a database from known viruses, the team found that most abundant viruses in both ice core samples were bacteriophages that infect methylobacterium, bacteria important to the methane cycle within the ice. They were most related to the viruses found in methylobacterium strains in plant and soil habitats, consistent with the previous report that the main source of dust deposited on GLACIER ice cap likely originates from the soils. These frozen viruses likely originate from soil or plants and facilitate nutrient acquisition for their hosts, the team concludes. While the specter of ancient viruses seems particularly worrisome after the COVID-19 pandemic, the greatest danger lies in what else the melting ice is releasing: massive reserves of sequestered methane and carbon. But it's clear the ice could also hold insights into past environmental changes and the evolution of viruses as well. We know very little about viruses and microbes in these extreme environments and what is actually there, explained Earth scientist Lonnie Thompson, who noted we still have many important questions unanswered. How do bacteria and viruses respond to climate change? What happens when we go from an ice age to a warm period like we're in now? So there's still much to be explored. This study was published in Microbiome, and this is on Collective Spark by Tessa Kumundura Science Alert. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box